أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا بالقاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الأطيبين الأنجبين بهم نتولى ومن أعدائهم نتبرأ إلى الله اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. Dua for this day of the sacred month of Ramadan. Allahumma ja'al sa'yi fihi mashkura wa dhanbi fihi maghfura. Allah, in this month make my efforts be thanked and my sins be forgiven. وعملي فيه مقبولا وعيبي فيه مستورا يا أسمع السامعين. My deeds accepted, my flaws hidden, O the best of those who hear. And returning to Ayat Al-Kursi, it's the last ayah of it. Allahu waliyyu alladhina amanu yukhrijuhum min adh-dhulumati ila an-nur, which means Allah is the wali, is the custodian of the faithful, of the mu'mineen. He brings them out of darkness and light to light, from darkness to light. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَوْلِيَاؤُهُمُ الطَّاغُوتُ, and for the faithless, their awliya are the fake gods, or the fake oppressors, the fake deities. Now these Taghut and their awliya, يُخْرِجُونَهُمْ مِنَ النُّورِ إِلَى الظُّلُمَاتِ, they drive them out from nur to darkness. أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ, they shall be the inmates of the fire and they will remain in it forever. So, Allahu waliyyu alladhina amanu yukhrijuhum min adh-dhulumati ila an-nur. Now in the previous ayah when we talked about, it was mentioned that lahu ma fis samawat, that Allah, to him belongs whatever is in the skies and in the earth. So we learned that he is the owner of everything. So when he is the owner of everything, so towards the mu'mineen he has a special share of wilayat. When he says that Allahu waliyyul ladhina amanu. So on one side he owns everything, but when it comes to the mu'mineen, says that Allahu waliyyul ladhina amanu, he is special custodian, he has a special wilayat towards the mu'mineen, just like Rahim being of Allah and Rahman for everyone, Rahim for mu'mineen. Here also it's the same. So he has that wilayat, that dominion, that custodianship on everyone, but over the mu'mineen a special wilayat he has. Now he who accepts Allah's wilayat, his color and baptism is Allah. It says Sibghat Allah, an ayah in Quran says Sibghat Allah وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ مِنَ اللَّهِ Sibgha. Sibgha means the color, or it's the color of Allah, the baptism of Allah, and whosoever accepts this baptism of Allah, then who can baptize better than him? That color of Allah should be present in all our actions. That is Sibghat Allah. Now the other thing that we learn here, that if someone takes Allah as his custodian and as his wali, Allah appoints a divine leader for him. Quran says in Surah Al-Baqarah, it says that Inna Allah qad ba'atha lakum Talut malikan, that because of those people, Allah says that their prophet said to them that Allah has appointed Saul as the king for you. So Allah appoints a king, a ruler, a leader for them. For who? For those who are the mu'mineen. Now, the path is evident, it's clear, it's firm. And when the path of the awliya, when the path is clear and you know that you are on the right path, it's all optimism, it's all hope. And he says that yahdihim rabbuhum bi-imanihim. Because of your faith and your iman, Allah will guide you. That is why we say inna ilayhi rajaun, that we will return to him, because we are his, he owns us, we belong to him, we have come from him, we return to him. And then he says, Allahu waliyyul ladhina amanu. So someone who is faithful, Allah is the custodian, Allah is the wali, Allah is the owner, Allah is the guide. And towards the mu'mineen, he has a special share of wilayat. Or elsewhere it says in another ayah in Quran, La nudhi'u ajra al-muhsinin, that someone who does good, we will never lose their reward. Their reward is safe. They will get whatever they have to get. In all wars and battles, then we see that their hope and help is from Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. They do not fear anyone else. It is only Allah that they have hope in. And Allah says, as a result of that iman that you have, فَزَادَهُمْ إِيمَانًا, Allah will increase your iman furthermore. So the iman that we have in Him, if we hold on to it, we strengthen it, says, فَزَادَهُمْ إِيمَانًا, He will increase it even more. So no fear of death, and dying on the path of Allah is prosperity. For example, Abu Abdullah al-Hussein on the day of Ashura, he says, Inni la ara al-maut illa sa'adatan, that I see that death, it is prosperity, it is success. So someone who is on the path of Allah and on the path of the wilayat of Allah, he is prosperous, he is successful. For him, loneliness doesn't mean anything. It may be bitter, but because he says that I am with Allah, Allah inna Allah ma'ana, Allah is with us, that gives him strength, that gives him power, that gives him sweetness. Now all the wealth also that he has, the money that he has, when he spends it, he doesn't feel any loss in it, because Quran says, Man dhallati yuqridu Allah qardan hasanan. Is there anyone who could give God some debt, some loan? So giving money in charity and helping others is like giving loan to Allah, Quran says. Now when someone is with God, the propaganda has the least effect on him. He has surrendered his heart to that definite promise of Allah, which says that وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, that is, you have faith in him, you know that the end is going to be definitely good, because عَاقِبَةُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. So everything apart from God in his eyes is small. And Amir al-Mu'mineen also says that very beautiful. He says that عَظُمَ الْخَالِقْ فِي أَنفُسِهِمْ فَصَغُرَ مَا دُونَهُ فِي أَعْيُنِهِمْ, that when God becomes great, big, large in the eyes of someone, everything else diminishes, everything else becomes small, everything else is tiny, is little. So God has to be great in our faith, in our understanding. And when someone is like that, then no worry comes to him. He doesn't worry at all. And all these different laws and problems and pandemics and what not, nothing would harm him, nothing would do him any wrong, any harm. That is as a result of that faith in Allahu waliyyul ladhina amanu. Mu'mineen, they have only one custodian, one wali, and that is Allah. Kuffar, they have numerous, they have many. Allahu waliyyul ladhina amanu, Allah is that one wali, is that one custodian for the mu'mineen. As for the kuffar, says awliya'uhum at-taghut, not one. When it comes to Allah, says wali, wali is one. Awliya, it's the plural. So Allahu waliyyul ladhina amanu, Allah, the one, the only, is the custodian of the believers. And as for those from the kuffar, their custodians, they are numerous, a lot. Now that is regarding wali. Now, when we see the path of haqq, it's just one. The path of batil, deviation, numerous, many. And Quran recognizes that the path of haqq, it's nur, but the path of deviation, it recognizes that zulumat in this Ayat Al-Kursi. So it's nur confronting dhulmat. Nur is light, dhulmat is darkness. So the path of Allah is all light. The path which is opposite and stands against God, it's all darkness. So the path of haqq is nur. And nur, on nur people they can travel. On nur people they can grow. And hope and tranquility is with nur. As a believer is never stuck, he is never stranded, there are no dead ends for the believers. Allah says, يُخْرِجُهُمْ مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ. Allah will bring them out from darkness because of that faith, because of that iman. And Taghut, all their efforts and all their struggle and power is in the atmosphere of shirk and kufr. And you see, الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَوْلِيَاؤُهُمُ الطَّاغُوتِ. So Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, He is the custodian, He is the wali, He is the dominion for every mu'min, and He is the one who will help him out. And as for those who stand against the Almighty, أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ. They are the companions of the fire. To them the fire will be given, and that is because they stood against God and against awliyaullah and awliyaut taghut. Now Prophet Yusuf also in his invitation says that kuffar, they used a similar meaning. Prophet Yusuf says, Ya sahibi as-sajn arbabun mutafarriquna amillahu al-wahid al-qahhar. Says that my prison mates, are different masters better, or Allah the only one? So Allahu waliyul ladina amanu. Allah is the wali of the believers. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَوْلِيَاؤُهُمُ الطَّاغُوتِ يُخْرِجُهُم مِّنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَوْلِيَاؤُهُمُ الطَّاغُوتِ يُخْرِجُونَهُم مِّنَ النُّورِ إِلَى الظُّلُمَاتِ أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. A beautiful Ayat Al-Kursi. Recite it as much as you can, especially after every wajib prayers of yours. It has a lot of barakat, a lot of thawab. And may Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala count us all among the best of those who adhere to this glorious book and to the ayat of Quran, and never ever separate us from Quran and the Ahlul Bayt in this dunya and in the hereafter. وسبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. For all mu'mineen and mu'minat, Al-Fatiha ma'as salawat.